My older brother has always been the star of our family. Charismatic, confident, the one whose photos hung on the walls and whose victories were celebrated over dinner. I was a shadow, quiet, sensitive, weird. When I told my parents that I was drowning in anxiety, they sent me to my brother, saying that he would teach me to pull myself together. But he didn't help. He laughed, recorded my breakdowns, showed my friends, even posted on stories how I cry with the caption "Drama Queen." I isolated myself from my family, secretly went to a therapist, until my brother started TikTok. There he became a hero, telling how he saved me from depression. His videos got millions of views and people wrote, "You're doing great." And I was sitting in the very pit from which he allegedly pulled me out, and I was silent. But not forever. I've known my place since I was a kid. My brother, 2 years older, was a golden child. The captain of the school team, the king of the parties, the one whose letters mom hung over the fireplace. Look at him. My parents used to say when I brought a 4 instead of a 5. I wasn't angry, I was used to it. I was different. I loved books, wrote poetry in notebooks, and cried when I saw a dog being beaten. Too sensitive, Mom sighed. You'll outgrow it. Dad waved it off. My brother called me a weakling and laughed when I tried to argue. His friends picked up on it, and I learned to keep quiet so as not to become their target. Everything changed when I turned 16. Anxiety, which used to be just a shadow, has become a stranglehold. I was awake, my heart was pounding for no reason, and I was afraid to leave the room. One day, I plucked up the courage and told my parents, "I feel bad. I need help." Mom frowned. "It's just a transitional age." Dad added, "Talk to your brother, he knows how to control himself." I went to him, trembling, hoping that he would understand. But he rolled his eyes. "Dude, just relax. You're making it up." I tried to explain, but he turned on his phone and started recording. "Look, my youngest is whining again," he said, laughing. I snatched the phone away, but he had already sent the video to his friends. Later, I saw his story, me crying in the car with the caption, "My junior is a drama queen." Who knows? I could feel the ground slipping away from under my feet. After that, I shut down. I stopped going to family dinners where my brother was the hero and I was invisible. I ignored their calls. "You're being overly dramatic." I found a therapist through a school counselor, and I paid out of my savings from my part-time job. The sessions were my refuge, where I could speak without fear of being recorded. I learned to breathe, to cope, to live with anxiety, which did not disappear, but became quieter. The family didn't know. I didn't want their pity or their pull yourself together. I thought I could handle it on my own until I saw my brother's TikTok. He started an account a year after I went into the shadows. At first it was stupid dancing jokes, but then he changed course. He became an expert on mental health. I came across his video by accident, the algorithm slipped it. He sat in his room with a serious face and said, "I helped my brother get out of depression. It was hard, but family is everything." Old photos of us together flashed in the frame where I looked lost and he looked like a savior. He told me how he talked to me for hours, how he taught me how to fight. The comments were full of tears. "You are a hero. Your brother is a lucky guy." I watched and rage mixed with pain. He stole my pain, my struggle, and made his crown out of it. I flipped through his videos and each one was worse than the last. He posted tips on how to help loved ones and quoted my words to the therapist, those that I trusted him in rare moments of weakness. He lied that he dragged me for runs, that he made me believe in myself. In one video he even cried, saying, "Seeing your brother drown is hell." But I pulled it out. Millions of views, thousands of likes. People wrote, "You changed his life." I looked at the screen and thought, "Changed it? You pushed me deeper. I didn't run with you. I was crying and you were filming. I was drowning and you built a career on my tears." I didn't write to him. He didn't call. I sat in my room, listening to my heart pounding, and thought about my family. A mom who saw me as a problem. The dad who believed that my brother was my savior. The brother who turned my hell into his triumph. I remembered how he laughed, how his friends sent videos of my breakdowns. I remembered a therapist who said, "Your pain is not their story." But my brother made her his. He became a hero, and I remained the shadow that he saved. I clutched the phone, feeling the silence becoming unbearable. I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to tell the truth. Not for revenge, but for myself. Because my story is not his TikTok. This is my life, and I won't stay in his lies. My brother built a career on TikTok, telling me how he saved me from depression, while I was drowning in a pit that he himself deepened with his taunts and videos. I've been saving his correspondence for years, stories where he called me a psycho and a burden, not thinking that they would be useful. But when his TikTok got on the Reddit sub about fake goody-goody, I posted the truth. A post with facts, screenshots, and archives. He exploded, hitting the top. The blogger figured out his brother's lies, and his account was drowned in anger. The sponsors left, TikTok was blocked for manipulation. Mom called in tears, realizing that I was telling the truth. I wasn't jubilant, I was breathing freely. Karma doesn't knock on the door. She's making the truth go viral, and my story has finally become mine. I kept everything as an archivist of my own pain. Correspondence where my brother wrote to friends, "My youngest is freaking out again, Rizaka." The story where he filmed me crying, with captions like, "Drama queen in action." The videos he deleted, but I managed to download. I didn't know why I was doing this, maybe to remind myself that I wasn't going crazy. His words, crazy, burden, too weak, were like the scars I was hiding. I was silent until his TikTok went viral, until he started lying to millions that he pulled me out of depression. His lie was the last straw. I decided that's enough. I will keep my truth and it will come out. It all started with Reddit. His TikTok got on a sub about fake kindnesses. Someone from old school acquaintances recognized me in his touching story. They sent me a link. "Is this about you?" I read a post where people were doubtful. "It sounds too perfect." I registered under a nickname and started writing. The post was long but calm. I told him how my brother laughed at my anxiety, filmed my breakdowns, and posted them. I attached screenshots of his messages, story archives, even a timeline, when he filmed me crying, and when he lied that he saved me. I wasn't accusing, I wasn't angry, I just showed the facts. He finished. "He's not a hero. He's the reason why I was drowning." And clicked publish. By morning, the post had shot up to the top. Thousands of comments. "This is disgusting. He used your pain for hype." People shared their stories of how their loved ones stole their struggles for fame. Someone started digging, found his brother's old stories in the internet cache. Another user made a timeline, proving that his rescue videos were filmed when I was at the bottom. Then a big blogger joined in, a guy with an audience of millions who loved to analyze internet dramas. He released a video. "This TikTok hero is fake." I laid out everything. Dates, screenshots, my words against his lies. "This is not support," he said. "This is exploitation." The video has gained millions of views, and the storm has begun. My brother's account was drowned in anger. The comments under his video turned into a minefield. "Liar! Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Give your brother back his story." His followers who sent him hearts started unsubscribing. The sponsors, brands of sportswear and meditation apps, issued statements. "We are terminating our cooperation." 2 days later, TikTok blocked his account for misinformation and manipulative content. I watched his empire crumble, and I didn't feel any malice. I felt as if I had taken a deep breath for the first time in years. His lies, his hero mask, all fell apart, and I was finally visible. Mom called on the third day. Her voice was trembling. "Why didn't you tell me?" I replied, "I told you. You weren't listening." She cried, apologized, said she didn't know her brother was like that. "We thought he was helping," she said. "I wasn't angry, I was empty." Dad wrote, "Come and talk to me." I didn't answer. Not because I didn't want to, I just wasn't ready. They saw me as a problem and him as a savior, and it hurt more deeply than his video. But Mom's tears were the first step. She realized that I wasn't lying, that my pain was real, and his heroism was fake. It was enough to start breathing. My brother tried to contact me. He wrote, "You ruined my life." He called, but I was dropping it. In one message he wrote, "It was just content, dude, don't take it personally." I didn't answer. His content was my scars, my sleepless nights, my therapy sessions, which I paid for while he filmed dancing. He didn't apologize, he blamed. I saved this message as the last nail in his mask. He wasn't a hero. He was a thief who stole my story to shine. But the light of truth was brighter. I was thinking about karma. It doesn't always come with lightning and thunder. Sometimes it's quiet but accurate. My post on Reddit, the blogger's video, the anger of strangers, it wasn't revenge. It was the truth that found its way. I remembered a therapist who said, "You don't have to be silent." I didn't keep silent, and that set me free. It's not from depression. She's still with me, like an old neighbor. But from his lies, from his shadow, from the feeling that I am a mistake that needs to be fixed. Now I'm sitting in my room, listening to the music I loved before all this. Mom writes and wants to meet. Dad doesn't say anything, but I know he's thinking. My brother has disappeared from the network, and I do not know where he is. Maybe he'll start over. Maybe he'll understand. But that's not my concern. I am my concern. My story, my pain, my truth. I'm not a drama queen. I'm a man who survived in spite of him. And if karma is a video that goes viral, then I'm glad that my truth took the lead role.